Hello everyone. We will be discussing about Human Genome Project. Humans have always been very inquisitive and they always wanted to know what is responsible for our characters, why some of the characters are inferior, why some of the characters are superior, and what actually drive us, what actually is the driving force behind what kind of looks we have. Some people are tall, some people are dwarf. So that led to, there were so many questions that led to a big project which was Human Genome Project. So this Human Genome Project, its discussion began as early as in 1984 at US Department of Energy. Then National Institute of Health also participated in 1988 and the Office for Human Genome Research was created. The office was later upgraded to National Center for Human Genome Research in 1990 and the project was officially launched in 1990. Apart from these two institutions, US Department of Energy and US National Institute of Health, the centers from United Kingdom, France, Germany, Japan and China, they also participated in the Human Genome Project. And the Congress funded both the NIH and DOE to embark on future exploration of this concept, and the two government agencies formalized an agreement by signing a memorandum of understanding to coordinate research and technical activities related to the human genome. James Watson was appointed to lead the NIH component. Now, in 1990, the initial planning stage was completed with the publication of a joint research plan, Understanding Our Genetic Inheritance, the Human Genome Project. Initially, for first 5 years, that was financial years 1991 to 1995, this initial research plan had some specific goals, but then the project was made for 15 years for the sequencing and all the information about the human genome. So these were some of the centers. So these are International Human Genome Sequencing Consortium. So it included centers from US, UK, Japan, France, Germany and China. So these centers, they were collaborating for the sequencing of the human genome. So it was formally launched in 1990, keeping the goal for 15 years. But the scientists and a big team was working day and night, and there were rapid technological advancements. So the project was completed in 2003. So that was 2 years ahead of the scheduled time plan. So the total project took 13 years and it was a coordinated effort by US Department of Energy and National Institute of Health along with their collaborating institutions. And the project goals for human genome research, they were to identify all the genes in the human DNA, determine the sequences of 3 billion chemical base pair that make up the human DNA, then storing this information in the database, improving tools for data analysis, transfer related technologies to the private sector, address the ethical, legal and social issues. We will be discussing about them because these are also very important that may arise from the project. And there were enormous medical applications which were thought will be helpful after the project is completed. So improved diagnosis of the disease, earlier detection of predisposition to diseases, rational drug designing, gene therapy and control system for drugs, pharmacogenomics, that is a personalized medicine, organ replacement. So these were some of the goals which were believed to be achieved after the genome is sequenced. And apart from the human genome, a few more genome projects were launched at the same time. So these were for E. coli, the fruit fly Drosophila melanogaster, the laboratory mouse Mus musculus and Caenorhabditis elegans. So these 5 genome projects were launched together. And microbial genome research, it was done to identify new energy sources for biofuel, environmental monitoring to detect pollutants, protection from biological and chemical warfare, and safe, efficient toxic waste cleanup. These are some of the milestones which were there for human genome sequencing. So starting from 1956, the first cytogenetic map showed that human cell contains 46 chromosomes. Then in 1977, Fred Sanger published dideoxy DNA sequencing method, and this dideoxy DNA sequencing method, it was actually automated to come up with capillary electrophoresis and fluorescent dyes. So it led to rapid sequencing of the human genome. Then in 1980, David Botstein proposed human genetic map can be constructed by using RFLPs, and RFLP map was the first genetic map which was published. 1981, human mitochondrial DNA sequence was published. 1986, the birth of Human Genome Project. 1987, 1988, all these years were planning years, and finally in 1990, the project was launched, keeping the aim of 15 years. Then in 1994, Genetic Privacy Act was came into being to regulate collection, analysis, storage, and the use of DNA samples and genetic information. 1996, Wellcome Trust joins the project. 1998, Celera Genomics, that was a private company which was founded by Craig Venter. Initially, Craig Venter was involved in this public funded HGP program, but finally he launched Celera Genomics, and there were a lot of controversy because of the Celera Genomics. In 1999, completion of the sequence of chromosome 22, and 2000, completion of the working draft of the entire human genome, and in 2001, analysis of the working draft were published, and 2003 project was declared finished. So what is a genome? So genome is the DNA in an organism, including its gene. So all of us know that in human beings, there are two, in the cell there are two organelles which contain DNA. In the human cell we have mitochondria. Mitochondria also contains DNA. And another organelle of the cell which contains DNA is the nucleus. So here mitochondrial DNA was published. We discussed in the previous slide that in 1981 human mitochondrial DNA sequence was published. So mitochondrial DNA was published in 1981, and it was a small mitochondrial genome, and a big nuclear genome which consisted of 46 chromosomes. So when we talk about genome, we will basically refer to the nuclear genome. We will not refer to the mitochondrial genome. And if we consider the plant cell, they have three kinds of genome: the nuclear genome, the mitochondrial genome, and the chloroplastic genome. But in human cells, we have mitochondrial and nuclear. And when we will talk about genome project and genome sequencing, we will basically refer it to nuclear genome, but we will not use the term nuclear genome. So a genome is all the DNA in an organism, including its genes. Genes carry information for making all the proteins required by all organisms, and these proteins, they determine each and every function of the body. And DNA is made up of four similar chemicals. These are A, T, G, and C. These are nucleotides which participate in the formation of the DNA. In human genome, there are nearly 3 billion bases, pair of bases. So it's a huge genome. Now we all know that right from the bacteria till the human, each organism, it contains the DNA as their genetic material, and this DNA as their genetic material, they have got A's, T's, C's, and G's. These four bases are present right from the bacteria till the humans, but the order of these bases in the DNA will basically determine that what kind of protein it is going to produce. The same, these four bases A, T, G, and A, T, C, and G, they will determine what kind of protein an organism is going to produce, and they will only determine what kind of function is going to be present, what kind of diseases we are susceptible for, what kind of infectious agents can infect us. So all these are determined by A, T, G, and C's, and their particular order in the genome is very important. So their order underlies all the life's diversity, even dictating whether an organism is human or another species such as yeast, rice, or fruit fly. All of these they have genome, and all of them have these four bases only, which is basically a function of the DNA. And all the organisms are related through similarities in DNA sequences, and we have got lot of insights because of non-human genome sequencing projects about the human biology. Now, whose genome was sequenced in the public HGP and the private project? So the privacy was kept for whose genome they are using, and there were many people from where the DNA was collected. So blood from female or sperm from male were collected from large number of donors, and donor identities were protected. And DNA from sperm was easier because nucleus to cytoplasm ratio is much higher in sperm as compared to the normal blood cell. Now, cellular genomics was a private sector which used mixed DNA, and DNA from analysis came from anonymous donors of European, African American, and Asian ancestry. And even Craig Venter's DNA was also used for sequencing. So we discussed that cellular genomics went into controversy because what it did, it captured all the data, because there were multiple institutions which were working in the publicly funded Human Genome Project we discussed in the previous slides. And the cellular genomics, because they couldn't share information until unless they put all the information on net for sharing. So cellular genomics, what it did, it captured all the data which was published by HGP on the net, and then it finalized the data in its own form, and it wanted to patent and make that data unavailable for public usage. But then the ban was put up for patenting and all. We'll see that. So many DNA polymorphism, these DNA polymorphism are minor variation between individuals. They were identified during the HGP, that is Human Genome Project. And the common were SNPs, RFLPs. SNPs were the most common because their number is very high as compared to other polymorphisms. And SNP studies, they continue to update in International HapMap project. So now also SNP studies are going on, and SNP groups are referred as haplotypes or HAPs, and these also are currently going on. They are now detected to be make the individual susceptible for the disease or response to the drug, and many more studies are coming up for SNPs now also. So in 1998, cellular genomics used the technique of whole genome shotgun sequencing. Instead of dividing the genome into sections like HGP, we'll be discussing about it. In March 2000, the US President Bill Clinton announced that human genes could not be patented. So this was because of this cellular genomics and the capturing of the data and not letting its data to be used for other work. This ban basically came that none of the human genes could be patented. And in June 2000, a draft sequence of the human genome was announced by Clinton and UK Prime Minister Tony Blair. And the sequencing was essentially complete by May 2003, but first draft was published in May 2006. But even if the sequencing was complete, but there were highly repetitive areas of DNA, especially around centromeres and telomeres of the genome, which were very difficult to sequence, they are still left out. And how the project was made possible? So there was a big team of many people who were involved. The DNA sequence repository was set up, and it was developed by Los Alamos National Laboratory with DOE computer and data management expertise. So this led to the large scale sharing and storing of the data, and the tools and technologies were developed for the sequencing. We'll basically see. So what was required? Instruments, technologies, reagents, protocols, many different streams of sciences. People from many different streams of sciences came together for sequencing project. So DNA sequencer, because Sanger's dideoxy sequencing method was used for DNA sequencing. So because the sequencing method could be automated because of capillary based DNA sequencing and the advancement of fluorescent dye. So initially the method was using radioisotopes. So radioisotopic dideoxy adenosine A, T, G and C, they were in use. G and C, but because of fluorescent dyes, all the reaction could be put in a single tube, because there were 4 different colors. We can see this blue one is for A, and the red one is for C, the green is for G, and yellow is for T. So because of different colors of the fluorescent dye, the technique was made automated. Now large scale DNA cloning vectors came into were developed. These were bacterial artificial chromosome and yeast artificial chromosome, which were useful in DNA sequencing. Then back-end sequencing and GRAIL, that was gene recognition and assembly internet link. It was widely used computer program, and this reduced the cost and it speeded up sequencing, and all the institutions were working in full coordination to achieve the project goals in time. and thus the Human Genome Project came into being and the work was started. These are selected references for Human Genome Project.